Golden Boy Promotions and Showtime, sponsored by Corona, La Cerveza Más Fina, AT&T, Mexico, and Casa Noble Tequila. Introducing our three judges, all from Las Vegas, Nevada. Adelaide Bird, Patricia Morse-Jarman, and Ricardo Ocasio. And our third man to the ring, the referee in charge. He'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Jack Reese. All right, fans, here we go. 10 rounds of boxing in a junior middleweight special attraction. Introducing you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks, hailing from Chihuahua, Mexico. He weighed in at 153 pounds with a record of 27 wins, 5 losses. He has 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Mario Lozano. And his opponent across the ring. On my left, fighting out of the blue corner in this 10-round junior middleweight attraction, wearing black trunks with white trim, hailing from Houston, Texas. He weighed in at a ready 153 1/2 pounds. His record, 24 wins, no losses, 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Ranked number 3 in the world by the WBC. He is the number 2 junior middleweight world ranked contender by the WBO and the IBF. Introducing the undefeated Jermell Iron Man Charlo. Once again, here's our referee in charge of the action, Jack Reese.
Have your pack on you?
Absolutely.
Can I have it, please?
No.
Pretty please?
No.
To get on Jack?
No.
Please, can you both instructions? I just want to remind you to listen and obey my commands all the time. Protect yourself at all times. Fight hard, fight clean. Good luck to both.
Well, originally, Jermell Charlo was supposed to fight for the WBO junior middleweight title tonight, but issues over the purse made the champ pull out of the fight at the last minute. Now Charlo says he has to challenge himself to not let his disappointment defeat him in the ring. Mario Lozano, he's fighting for the first time in 9 months, just the 4th time here in the States. He says Jermell Charlo has been protected, and he plans to expose him. Round 1, Lozano in the black trunks, Charlo in the white trunks with the black trim.
So what this fight is all about for Jermell Charlo, Brian, is focus, because he said this is a letdown. I was supposed to fight for the world title against Demetrius Andrade. That fight didn't happen. It's supposed to be on this card.
He talked a lot about building himself up for this night. He said it was supposed to be a huge night for me. This is an emotional letdown. And not unlike what his twin brother, Jermall, went through in March, remember, when he was scheduled to fight Carlos Molina for the IBF junior middleweight title.
Right, and that didn't happen. So the twin brothers, 1 minute born, 1 minute apart, have had a very dissatisfying experience, shared a dissatisfying experience.
There's a good jab, followed up by the right hand by Charlo.
You're looking at one of the better jabs for any young fighter in boxing, Jermell Charlo. Hey, last night on a special edition of Showtime Boxing, we saw Charlo's stablemate, Erislandy Lara, trained by Ronnie Shields also, in the same division, junior middleweight. He won against Ishe Smith. Maybe that pumped Jermell up a little bit. They do spar together.
The interesting thing about the twins is that a lot of people feel that Jermall, the harder puncher, more aggressive one, and Jermell told us, hey, listen, I've heard that, but I can engage. And he said, I have to when I spar Erislandy Lara because he's so slick and moves so well.
Exactly right. What you're seeing from Lozano, pretty much the way he fights. He likes to keep his distance, keeps his hands up. Has a pretty decent jab, but he brings it back a little slowly, so don't be surprised if Charlo can counter with a quick right hand.
There's a right hand by Charlo. Under a minute here in the first round. Left hook by Charlo.
The twin Charlo brothers, Jermell has definitely fought way better opposition than Jermall has. We'll see Jermall later on tonight on Showtime Championship Boxing, but Jermell has fought the better opposition and done quite well. And he's rated very high by the Alphabet organization, so he's going to get that title fight soon enough, probably next year.
Blood already coming from the nose now of Lozano. Here's the right hand by Charlo. Left hook as he catches Lozano coming in.
Yeah, Lozano's giving ground, and the reason he's giving ground is he can't get past that jab.
Here's the twin brother, Jermell Charlo. Of course, you'll see him over on Showtime Championship Boxing as he takes on Lenny Bota.
Anytime a brother has to watch another member of his family, a brother, fight, you ask them to a man, they'll tell you it's much harder watching because they're protective of their brothers, and at the same time they have the mentality of a fighter, so they want to be in there and help their brother, but obviously they can't. So it's a very tough thing. And
keep stepping up to him. Step up to him with combination. You understand? You're going to catch him with the combination. 20 seconds. Everything is going to be good. Want some more water? Okay, come on. Use your speed. Give me some combinations, all right?
Jermell told us in the fighter meetings he's going to be keeping a close eye on this fight because he said he knew his brother was emotionally disappointed for this fight, and he kept telling him, you cannot have a letdown. You've got to look good.
Going up with the jab.
in round one, Lozano landed one power punch. This is a tough style matchup for him because he's basically a boxer, but he's boxing against a longer, bigger, faster guy. And younger guy, for that matter.
And Lozano admitted that he's going to have to get out of his comfort zone for this fight. Said he can't fight like he normally would. He's going to have to get in close to Charlo. He wanted to pound Charlo. He says with body punches, hit his arms, do anything, not give him any kind of distance.
Yeah, that may be the game plan, but faced with Charlo's jab and hand speed, Lozano hasn't been able to do it.
Charlo continues to catch him with that check left hook.
Stop bringing that hook back behind. Make it a full combination.
Lozano never been stopped. And he showed some toughness last time out with Vanis Martirosyan, former U.S. Olympian.
There's a combination by Charlo. Backs Lozano to the ropes.
Keep him working. Make him work. Make him work. Make him work.
You can be aggressive and still show the jab, and I think that's what Charlo's trying to do right now. Trying to come forward, or at least inch forward, and keep his desired range with that really fast, strong jab.
Charlo said there's a number of things, despite the disappointment, he needs to work on in this fight. His last fight he won in May against Charlie Oda, as he gets hit with a body shot by Lozano, connects. There's two things that happened to Charlo in that fight. He said, well, first, number one, he got knocked down.
Right.
Number two, he had a point taken away for a low blow.
Good shot down there.
Yeah, there's a different kind of opponent than Charlie Oda Bellamy, because Oda wanted to land to the body. He's a strong guy, a veteran. Lozano wants to box. At least that's normally his method.
Well, Charlo said there were a number of factors. There's another left hook by Charlo that got to him in that fight. He said, namely, the Brooklyn crowd. He said he heard the boos because they wanted more action. It got to him, and he said he looked over, he saw Julian J. Rock Williams sitting ringside, and he felt like he had to put on a spectacular performance. Got out of his game plan for a while.
Well, Julian Williams, who we'll see on Showtime in about a week, and the Charlo brothers, that's a pretty good trio of young American junior middleweights.
There you go.
The left hook by Lozano.
You know, Lozano trying to time Charlo. It's hard. Charlo's so fast.
That was a beautiful round. That's what I'm talking about. And hold this out. That's what I'm talking about. How you work that round? That's all I want you to do. I want you to keep working like that. Couple Kim, couple on a little south. Bring him up, brother. If you go throw that right hand to the body, you got to bring it back to the hook at the top. Because otherwise, you're going to be open for the same hook. Okay?
Action from round 2. Charlo smart, throwing in combination, showing his hand speed. It all starts with the jab, even when he's just setting up his shots. Kind of an awkward combination there. He missed with the right hand, but landed a straight left.
Here we go, round 3.
Lozano averaging only 27 punches per round through the first two rounds, and his style is not working. Now, he told you he needed to fight outside of the box and leave his comfort zone, try to get inside. He's really not trying to do that. One way you can do that against a good jab is bend your knees, let the jab go over your head, and try to step forward, and then you're closer to your opponent. But he hasn't been able to do that. He's looking to counter punch, and he hasn't had too many chances to do that.
Lozano's been basically a career welterweight, moved up to junior middle back in 2013 last year, fighting just for the 3rd time at this weight. Says his body can't do 147 anymore.
See, the distance between the two has really never changed throughout the fight.
Yeah, Lozano has yet to get inside like he wanted to.
I would think when you spar with Landy Lara all the time, as both Charlo brothers do, if you can hit him, you have to think you can hit anybody. Yeah. Of course, I'm sure they don't hit Lara too much in sparring either.
Good give and take.
Like to see a short hook from Charlo. Sometimes he's a little wide with that punch. It's not his favorite punch or his best punch. Needs to shorten that hook.
Right hand, Charlo. Under a minute now here in round 3. Lozano right hand. Charlo tried to counter with his own right.
And that's one of the reasons Lozano's not being more aggressive. When he was aggressive in that instance there, he came forward and he paid for it with counter punches.
And Charlo continues to pound Lozano with that stiff left jab.
Separate, step away from each other, box.
This is going to take an adjustment from Lozano, Brian. I don't know that he can do it. He may just be outgunned against a much quicker opponent, but he can't keep fighting this style and expect to win any rounds.
Let's go back to Jim Gray.
All right, Brian, thank you very much. As you sit here and you watch your brother and you got to prepare for your own fight, how do you divide your mind? I mean, you're worried about him, but you got your own stuff to worry about.
It's just like in the gym, you know, if he's sparring and I'm sitting there watching, it just kind of egg me on to get in there and do what I have to do.
How do you assess his performance so far?
He's doing really good. He's established himself now. He's warmed up, and looks like he's coming along.
How have both of you guys handled the disappointment? You both were to have title championship opportunities, and they both have fallen through. How do you stay the course?
I mean, it motivates you to know that you have fighters out there at the top of the division that's dodging you, you know, and we here to be here, and we're gonna stay here. So 154 is ours, and it feels like it.
And what do you know about Bowtie, who you'll face on Showtime here coming up?
That he's gonna give me all he has, and he's from Italy, and it's first time in America, and he never seen American power like this.
Best of luck, and we'll talk to you after the fight.
Appreciate it.
All right, Brian, back out to you.
Okay, Jim, thank you very much. Of course, Jermell Charlo, you'll see him over on Showtime Championship Boxing a little later on tonight. His twin brother Jermell taking on Mario Lozano. Both the Charlos, Erislandy Lara, fight out of that Plex gym in Houston, Texas. Under Ronnie Shields.
And as the Charlos advance from prospect to contender, it's an interesting thing because Lara is at worst the second best junior middleweight in the world, and he has a belt. The Charlos have to deal with that and each other. There's only so many belts to go around, even though there are too many belts to go around.
And they were both very adamant that they would never, ever fight Erislandy Lara or each other.
Right. And that limits the opportunities. There have never been twins who have been champions at the same weight.
Good exchange by Lozano and Charlo.
Yeah, Charlo came way down low with the left hand there. Pretty easy fight for Jack Reitz, the ref, because they really haven't been in close very much.
Crowd appreciate Lozano throwing some punches.
The combinations have been few and far between.
Jermell says his goal in 2015, especially his next fight, is to have a big fight. He and his brother, they want a headline, they say, in Houston, Texas, in their hometown. Good combination by Charlo. Left hook.
See, Charlo is still basically a 1-2 puncher. That's what he's thinking in there. He's going to jab, or he's going to jab and throw the right hand behind it. He needs distance to do that, and Lozano's giving him the distance to do it. Lozano reminds me like a point guard who sets up too far from the hoop. You know, he's setting up way too far away from Charlo to do any damage, to reach his opponent.
The right hand by Lozano. Charlo gives him a sly smile.
Better round. Put some ice there. Better job. You got to keep with that double jab, and then you come with the right. Listen to me. You're doing it good. But when you're coming inside and you're connecting, stay inside. Don't go back. You got to keep moving.
Action from round 4. It was really the first round where Lozano had any success offensively, and why? Because he threw in combination. Now they're pretty close there. He shortened the distance between the two, and he was able to land 2 or 3 shots. Enough to win the round, no, but a good sign for Lozano.
That was the right hand we saw, and you saw the sly smile by Charlo. Okay, you got me. You heard the corner there of Lozano telling him, hey, you're doing some good job, better round. You got inside, but you got to stay there. We're scheduled for 10 here at the MGM Grand.
And it's not always that Lozano's setting up too far away. A lot of times Charlo gives him just a little bit of backward or side-to-side movement to maximize the distance. And remember, Charlo's got a 4-inch reach advantage. And in a lot of fights, the reach advantage means nothing. It's all about timing. But in this fight, it means something because of how far away they are to start the exchanges.
There's a sweeping left hook by Charlo.
He's so much better when he follows that right hand with a left hook.
We talked at the top how this was supposed to be a big night for Charlo. Originally, he was supposed to fight the WBO junior middleweight champ Demetrius Andrade. Andrade pulled out of the fight in late November. Reportedly, he was unhappy with the proposed $300,000 purse he was going to receive, and he says the lack of communication between he and his promoters.
Well, that would be a fascinating chess match, Charlo and Andre. It's not going to happen right now, but Andre, the southpaw, U.S. Olympian, and a very good boxer. Awkward, though. Tough guy to fight.
There's that left hook. Followed it up with a right hand.
There haven't been a lot of explosive moments, but those that have happened are in Charlo's side. When he throws in combination and lets those power shots go, he could do it more. He could try to attack more, and he can do it behind the jab.
Under a minute here in round 5. Here's the left hook again by Charlo, followed up with a 3-punch combination.
Yeah, that moment was telling because for a brief instance, Lozano was close to Charlo. Charlo skipped town. He said, I'm leaving. And he used a little bit of lateral movement and has reestablished that distance between them. And here they are boxing on the outside again. So it's very hard for Lozano for 2 reasons. Charlo doesn't let him get close, and it's not really Lozano's nature to attack and get close. He's more of a boxer.
Lozano has lost 2 straight fights. We talked about his latest loss in March. He said the problem was he started too slow, but he felt like he won rounds 6 through 10. Looks like he's going to have to step on the gas again here against Charlo.
Okay. All right, everything is good. Hold on. Everything is good. Put the mounds in the bank. Just keep putting the mounds in the bank like that. You don't have to try to knock him out. Look, if you go knock him out, it's going to happen. Okay? Listen. Start stepping up a little more with the jab. Every time you step in with the jab.
Take a look at action from round 5. Charlo on the move. That left hook again, a little wide, a little bit slapping. He's not pronating this punch. But then he's successful with everything that follows, punching through and around the guard of Lozano.
We have come to the halfway point of this 10-round junior middleweight bout. Jermell Charlo in those white trunks, the black trim, taking on Mario Lozano.
A little bit of a change from the normal Charlo storyline because he's not landing a high percentage of his jabs. You can see, again, it's because Lozano's setting up so far outside. But when he does punch with the power shots, he's landing a very high percentage, over 60%. So that's how Charlo's winning every one of these rounds. You just don't see anything different from Lozano, really, strategically.
Yeah, at some point now, especially, you got to start pressing the action. Here's 3-point combinations by Charlo as we take a look at round by round as we update it live.
And what's telling is not just the 106 connects, total connects for Charlo, but how low the not a double-digit connect round yet for Lozano.
.90 seconds here in round 6.
You can see as we project with Charlo, he's never going to be a huge puncher, but he does throw his punches straight, so he can do damage with the right hand. This is KO percentage under 50%. He's going to have to outbox his guys to beat him when he moves up in class and fights the very best at 154.
Since we're at the halfway point, you see a fighter interested, focused?
Yeah, I don't think the
that
fact
was the big concern.
Yeah, the fact that he lost the title fight opportunity against Andre. Nah, he's been very focused.
30 seconds here. Coming up in round 6. Charlo continues. Pack away with that jab. There's a quick left by Lozano.
Charlo's fighting like he's got nothing to fear. Like he's not scared of getting countered.
Both throwing some feints.
Listen, let's try and go to the right a little bit. All right? If you don't feel comfortable doing it, go ahead and go back to your left. All right? But you got to keep that left hand a little bit when you're going that way. Okay? I want to see if we can hit it with the right hand going to the right. Okay? Let's see if we can nail his ass with the right hand. Okay?
All right, we're in the 7th round. You're doing it okay. Now you have to come with more decision. You're very cold. You're a little timid. You got to come in. Got to get working. It's the 7th round.
Action from round 6. Lozano's had a couple of moments in this fight, few and far between. Sort of a roundhouse counter hook there. He's a natural counter puncher, but he's not quick enough to counter Charlo, and that's been his problem.
You heard the corner of Lozano telling him, you got to get inside, but as you point out, that's really not his game. He knew he had to do it, but I think that jab and being countered has made him hesitant to try to get inside of Charlo.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's easy to say get inside. It's hard to do.
Double hook by Charlo.
I think Ronnie Shields called for a few right hands to the body. That would be a nice change, a nice switch up for Charlo, something he hasn't really shown yet. Good young legs, Charlo, huh? He can move all night. And it's not running, it's boxing.
Right hand by Charlo. Check left hook.
I think Charlo's most impressive win was on Showtime against Gabriel Rosado. No surprise, because think of how Rosado fights. He's an aggressive guy, tough, aggressive guy, and Charlo had more to hit, more to jab at. This is a tougher assignment because he's not getting a lot to work off of.
Yeah, Rosado came forward basically that entire fight.
Yeah, and even Charlie Otto was a much more aggressive fighter.
Stop. Nobody punch. Step away from each other.
And don't get me wrong, Charlo's winning every round, but very hard to be very impressive when your opponent's standing that far away.
There's that 1-2 combination you talked about. It's been his staple. When we talk about that junior middleweight division, could you imagine when the Charlos or J. Rock Williams? Oh.
And don't forget Hugo Centeno. Now, he may be a middleweight now. I don't know if he's going to drop back down, but he's coming off a big win, too. There are a lot of good young American junior middles. Pretty much more of the same here. Same tenor, same tempo to the fight. And another 10-9 rounds for Jermell Charlo.
Best division in boxing, welterweight division. Here's Jim Gray with one of the biggest punchers. Jim?
Indeed, I am here with Keith Thurman. Everybody's looking toward you to be the new guy coming up in this division and that you represent the future, but the future begins for you this evening. You haven't fought in 8 months. Are you concerned at all about rust?
No, we've had a terrific camp. We're definitely looking forward to this fight. We're ready tonight. And I'm looking forward to putting on a show, man. I'm going to box my fight. I'm listening to my coach, my corner, and really just have fun in there, man. I'm really happy to be back in the ring. I'm looking forward to see what Bundu brings to the table. He's undefeated. He told me I'm going to be in a tough test, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting night of boxing.
He is undefeated. Does that concern you that he has gone this far in his career and has this record?
No, it excites me. Makes me feel good that I'm fighting a respectable opponent, something that's going to challenge me. I really am looking forward to maybe 2 to 3 difficult rounds. And
2 to 3.
Yeah, it shouldn't take long, man. We solve puzzles pretty quick, man.
And we're going to get back out to the fight quickly. How's your shoulder? The fans are concerned.
It's great, man. These bombs are going to be getting dropped all night.
Keith, we'll talk to you after the fight. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Brian, back to you.
Thank you, Jim. Keith Thurman, you will see him a little later on Showtime Championship Boxing. And, he called out Floyd Mayweather.
And why not? He's looked better and better as his opposition has gotten better and better. And that's a sign of a very, very good young fighter. I think if you go buy stock in any boxer, there'd be a lot of people out buying stock in
absolutely.
Keith Thurman.
I think there are a lot of people who really want to know, is he truly the boogeyman of that welterweight division? Charlo coming after Lozano.
I guess there are some people and maybe a lot of fans who would like to see Charlo more aggressive. But he's winning every round. He's fighting his kind of fight.
He's doing what he has to do.
Yeah, and it's not like he's not landing power shots. He is landing power shots. He hasn't hurt Lozano once in the fight. I'm a little surprised Lozano's not lumping up or cut from those jabs.
Halfway through round 8.
Put him out.
Through the first 7, Brian, Lozano averaging 4 connects a round.
It's not going to get it done.
Paltry sum.
Yeah.
I think this is a case style-wise where Lozano probably knows what he needs to do, but he can't do it. If you've never done it, you fought one way your whole career, and from the tape I've watched, that's how he's fought, staying on the outside, jabbing. He hasn't had to press the action. He's not pressing it today. See him moving backward. Charlo maybe a little more aggressive than he's been in prior rounds.
What Jermell said, he certainly wants to start 2015 off big. He and his brother, they said they want to fight the biggest, the best in the division. He talked about Austin Trout. Talked about fighting Canelo.
Well, should Jermell win tonight on Showtime Championship Boxing, he'll become a mandatory challenger for K9 Bundage, who's a champion who's over 40 years old and is viewed by a lot of people to be vulnerable. So that's going to be a great chance for Jermell.
Put another in the book for Jermell.
Remember, when you're going forward, okay, your hands got to be moving. You can't go forward and just walking into him without a punch, okay? You got to do something. Even if you just part a jab to go after him, that means you're doing something, okay? Then you'll be able to see the right hands, okay? Every time this guy jabs, he brings it back right here all the time. You got to time it, okay? But you still got to do it with distance. You can't fall in with it. Just touch him with the jab. Once you touch him here, the right hand is going to be there. That's your distance for the right hand, okay? 20 seconds.
Coming up next, it's the return of vicious Victor Ortiz. Been nearly a year since he's been in the ring. He fights next here on Showtime Extreme.
Brian, I'll tell you why Ronnie Shields is one of the best trainers in boxing. These guys pitching a shutout. He had some really good, simple instruction for him. Touch him with the jab. Don't reach with the right hand. If you touch him with the jab, you won't have to reach with the right hand, and you'll land that right hand right on the chin. It's good advice, because he sees his opponent, his fighter, trying a little too hard with the right hand. And then when you fall in, you lose your balance. You can't throw a left hook. Can't defend yourself properly. It may not be a problem against this opponent, but it might be next time.
Here's a right hand by Lozano.
I'm watching to see if Charlo implements what he was told by Ronnie Shields. Again, it's very difficult to even touch Lozano with the jab because Lozano sets up so far away.
Yeah. Here's a right hand that gets in.
Yeah, Lozano may not even realize it, but it's a very safety first method that he's using tonight.
Left hook. Leaping left hook by Charlo.
Yeah, you like to see a little bit more of offensive imagination from Charlo, I guess. That would be one criticism. That's what I mean by jabbing maybe to the body, sometimes throwing the right hand to the stomach. He's a basic fighter.
There's the right hand that gets in by Charlo. Lozano took a step back to the ropes. Another straight right hand by Charlo.
Yeah, that might have been the best one of the night because it was thrown at the perfect distance.
And the intensity's starting to pick up a little bit here. Final 10 seconds.
Stop. My break. Step away from each other. Box. Time.
That was a good round. You stepped it up. That's what I want you to do. Keep stepping it up on it. All right? But look, when you close for it, just keep your hands up. Keep your hands here. Then you can run them off from there. Okay?
Actually, from round 9, the power shots in this fight have been the right hands of Jermell Charlo. And for one of the only times in the fight, Lozano back to the ropes. And he sets it up with a jab and the right hand right up the middle. But again, you can see Charlo sort of off balance after he throws that right hand, falling in a little bit. Ronnie Shields has been critical of that, but it's hard to not fall in when your opponent is starting so far away.
Last time Jermell Charlo got a stoppage, it was in October of last year. Stopped Jose Rodriguez, and it happened in the 10th round.
This is the 7th time Jermell Charlo's fought on Showtime, Brian, and we've seen him advance into a polished boxer. You know, if you're looking for exciting one-punch knockouts, this isn't the guy for you.
Or if you want, I guess, the sweet science, hit, not get hit. This is the perfect boxer for you.
He's trying. When he throws his power shots, he's punching with intent. His brother Jermell, who we'll see later, that's a nice right hand from Jermell, but his brother Jermell a little bit more aggressive and perhaps bigger puncher with the right hand. Safe to say that. But Jermell hasn't faced the level of opposition Jermell has fought.
Stop. Nobody punch. Step away. Step out.
Now, be honest with me, Brian Custer. Can you tell the difference between the two?
It's very hard. It really is. The haircut's a little bit different, though. That's what helps you.
But they keep changing their haircuts.
Yeah, they do.
I believe Jermell is about an inch taller. That's the way I try to tell them apart.
Here's a left hook by Charlo.
It's just really what Charlo wants to do here. If he wants to play it safe, then there's no reason not to. Wow, that's his best left hook of the night right there. But if he wants to play it safe, just bank another round, win 10, 100 to 90, and go home.
50 seconds left in this fight.
Can you find an excuse to give Lozano a round?
I can. Not one.
Same here.
Not one.
Yeah. I'd like to, just to be generous, but can't do it.
Good thing for Lozano, he is a full-time student. Says he'll finish up his degree next year. As we wrap this fight up, wasn't for a title, but Jermell Charlo got in some work.
And that's it, Brian. You said the word. In the big scheme of things, he got some work in. We look forward to him fighting a higher quality of opposition.
Take a look at the show stats, and the power shots, 60% basically for Charlo.
Yeah, those percentages, you see the 20% for Charlo for jabs and 59% for power shots. Usually that's flipped over. He's going to land a higher percentage of his jabs in most fights and a lower percentage of power shots. But tonight, the right hand and the occasional left hook were his ticket to victory.
And really, when you're in a situation like Charlo, you want to get in some work, you want to look sharp, no cuts, don't want to get hurt. Well, the judge's official decision is in. Here's Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. All three judges scored the bout 100 to 90. All three in favor of the winner, and still undefeated, Jermell Iron Man Charlo.
Well, all judges been picking on your cards, unanimous decision, got in some work, and now look forward to a bigger fights next year.
Yeah, exactly. Exciting, no. Dramatic, no. Clear cut and workmanlike.